And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. How do you get help from Uncle Sam? Is you have to have people in positions with the government. How do they get there? For the most part, they are voted in. Right. Wonderful system we have here. That's the good news. The bad news is you can vote in a bad apple just as easily as you can vote in a good apple.
That's right.
And, you know, we've been on the air close to 40 years. So it means every 2 years we're going to have a state or a federal election. And for probably then, for the 40 years, 20 times we've had a show like this, or at the shows getting close to the election, we've told our viewers, this is an important election. Well, folks, we're running out of important elections. You know, this truly is an important election that's coming up. And you have to vote for representatives to represent you. They're representing how you feel. And I think we've really, over the past 4 years, gotten our eyes pretty much wide open with things that are going on.
True. You have to figure out what your core values are. Most of you know what those are, and most of them are good. Mm-hmm. And I think that being in television, Jack and I see so much. You know, we take a look at the ads, and right. You know what? It's the same thing as when you meet somebody. You're looking at the surface until you get to know what's beneath. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the outer matches the inner, and sometimes it doesn't. Right. And that is up to us to study your candidates. Don't just take an ad and say, oh, I like that. That's a great ad. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good campaign manager is what that is.
Yes.
So what you want to do is you want to go beneath, take a look at these people and see what they stand for and see how they match your core values, because this is the best country in the world, even with all that's wrong with it, Jack.
Yes.
And we love this country, and we are responsible for voting in people who will take care of America.
Absolutely. The number one job of government is protecting us
Keeping
from
us
domestic
safe.
And foreign oppressors. People around the world would love to, for the lack of a better word, own America. Yeah. Own what we are, what we have. And I'm preaching to the choir here to you guys, because most of you have been around long enough, right. You understand right. What a great government it is. So we've got to have a strong military. And if you're looking at all the different primaries that are going on now, one of the big things and takeaways and people are concerned about, number one right now is becoming the immigration problem. And we're seeing it because it's overwhelming our cities. Yeah. Yeah. It's overwhelming, and we're not vetting who's coming into this country. Just 2 weeks ago, a illegal person that was in this country that had been arrested and let go killed a University of Georgia student. You know, so it's
well,
you've got
to, America has to have a safe border, and this does not mean that you are anti-immigration.
No,
because our country was built
we're not,
on immigrants.
We're not.
But
it has to be done the right way.
There is a legal way
right.
to come into our country, and that's what we need to be looking at. We can't do this anymore. You know, we're so involved with hospitals and mental health and
yes.
everything else,
yes.
and our hospitals can't. You know, we can't take the influx, and there's no insurance, there's no anything.
No.
You can't stay helping your veterans, helping your Americans. Let's do it the right way. Mm-hmm. Like everything we do in life, Jack,
absolutely.
There is a right way.
Absolutely. And ask yourself the question, 4 years ago, how did were you happy with your life at that point? The biggest thing I think for seniors, and even for those of you who have grandchildren or just recently
right.
getting married
right.
and have little children, is going to the grocery store and two things: the shock of having to pay for what's there and the lack of what's there. So we're seeing
True.
It from two different aspects there.
And I think most of all what we're trying to say is be aware.
Yes.
You know, you can vote however you have that right
mm-hmm.
to vote. It is your vote.
Right.
It is not my vote. I will cast mine the way I believe. And everybody has a right to their own vote.
They do.
But please, please look at your candidates, study what they've done before. Don't just listen to the talk, look at the walk.
Absolutely.
That will tell you what someone
Absolutely.
is.
And if you go to a site, a candidate that does not have a phone number that you can call to be able to talk to that person, be a little leery. Because as Virginia said on the onset, it's all the fluff, and we're not getting down to, if you want to vote for Joe Blow better want to talk to you on the phone, because then he knows that you're voting for him.
Well, I think that the thing I fear the most is silence.
Absolutely.
And the old saying, bad things happen because good men do nothing. We can no longer do that. This is our country, and we have to stand up for it. And God bless those in the military that are willing to fight for it.
Good. And thank you for your vote.